although this is going to use an I voice. This is written by a real man. These are some general details about me. I am a 22-year-old man. I have one sibling and divorced parents. I have been seeing a psychiatrist for excess of 3 years and am diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and narcolepsy. I am making these diaries once a week to try and hold myself more accountable when it comes to my goals and my issues that I want to fix. I have a large amount of insecurities, which I will list as I write, as well as a collection of delusional feeling thoughts, which I want to be able to unload and get out of my head. I am extremely unhappy with myself as an individual and want that to change so badly. I want to be proud of who I am and I simply am not. One of my largest issues I have with myself is that I did not finish high school. I have been battling with major depressive feelings and suicidal thoughts since I was 12 years old. My father regularly told me I would be a failure and a blue-collar worker, and this had an extremely detrimental toll on my mental health. By the time I was a senior in high school, I had started to sleep an excess amount of cope with the thoughts of killing myself, and this culminated in me getting expelled for an excess of absences when I had turned 18. Despite the fact I am trying to study for my GED to recover this, I feel like I make terrible progress, because I feel like a failure, and I have a spike in suicidal thoughts any time that I sit down to study, and even though I am probably smart, I don't feel like it. I have a collection of irrational thoughts, and one of them is I can only study 1 or 2 things a day and no more after that, and I will just forget it all. This is such a palpable thought that weighs me down daily. I have feelings that I will never achieve any of my goals in my life, and that I will not be able to recover my life. I want to write these to hold myself accountable so I have a higher chance of sticking to my weekly goals. But first I will talk about the rest of my irrational thoughts. I in the past year used to enjoy the prospect of drawing as a form of catharsis. I enjoy drawing pieces that play around themes of duality. However, I have not drawn in a long time, in part due to feeling like I won't be able to produce anything that I am happy with, but also because one of my irrational thoughts include a strong feeling that all of my art supplies would just vanish like chalk on a brick wall, and I will be left with nothing to show for it but trash, and since I am not working I do not have the money to replace any of my art supplies. So I have this perpetual fear in starting to draw, even though in theory I used to enjoy it. I have a terrible fear that I will never be hired at another place again, and that I will fuck it up even if I am hired, so I have been scared to apply at any places. Now I will get into my goals for this week. I want to finish half of what I have left for geometry on Khan Academy so I can start to take GED practice tests, because I want to make sure I get college-ready scores so that I can go to school to be a psychiatrist. I also would like to go back to tracking my weight and working out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week so I can start to feel better about my body. I also would like to stay sober, as I have neglected to mention that I have a strong substance abuse problem and am prescribed Xanax to deal with anxiety spikes while I try to stop smoking weed, and I have violated my sobriety 5 times this month, and I don't want that to happen anymore. I also want to set a goal to complete 1 piece of art this week, or the very least practice drawing again at least once. This will be the end of this diary. I will release a new one every Sunday to talk about what I have done out of my goal list, and to log my general state of mind.